On to fuel hike. PDP, People's Democratic Party, has labeled the recent fuel price increase by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited as an attack on Nigerians. The pump price on Tuesday was increased to 855 naira, 918 naira and higher per litre, with the prices varying across the location at NNPC stations across the country. In a statement on Wednesday, PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba described the APC administration as being indifferent and unresponsive to the struggles of millions of Nigerians who can no longer afford their daily necessities. Ologunagba stated, "The People's Democratic Party rejects the punishing increase in the pump price of fuel to over 1,000 naira per litre in various parts of the country, describing it as a brutal assault on the sensibility and well-being of Nigerians by the insensitive and arrogant All Progressive Congress administration. The thoughtless increase in fuel price, especially at this time, is a huge recipe for crisis, as Nigerians cannot bear its worsening effect on the suffocating economic hardship which they currently face under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led APC administration. The secretive and corrupt administration of the petroleum sector and persistent increase in fuel price under the Tinubu administration without due regard to the well-being of the people is akin to pushing Nigerians to the wall and daring them to do their worst." He added, "The APC administration has consistently shown itself to be anti-people, unconcerned and deaf to the agonies of millions of Nigerians who can no longer afford their daily meals, medications and basic support for families due to the catastrophic high cost of living occasioned by the insensitive and reckless policies of the Tinubu administration." Today, under the Tinubu-led APC administration, over 150 million Nigerians have sunk below the poverty line. Businesses are collapsing daily as Naira now exchange for over 1,600 to a dollar, with over 34% inflation rate and over 40% unemployment rate, which are expected to rise further with the latest draconian increase in the price of fuel. The PDP argued that the current APC government policies offer no hope as major multinational companies continue to leave due to poorly implemented economic strategies. The statement continued, "President Tinubu is the Minister of Petroleum Resources and cannot exonerate his government and officials from the secretive and fraudulent management of the petroleum sector, which is fast pushing our nation's economy to the precipice. Moreover, it is inexplicable that the APC administration continues to increase fuel prices despite the scandalous revelation in the public domain that it is secretly paying a whopping 5.4 trillion naira as fuel subsidy for 2024. The APC government has now become an enabler of a cabal of APC rent seekers who apparently derive pleasure in inflicting pains on Nigerians while hugely benefiting from the proceeds of incessant increase in fuel price to satisfy and fund their luxury appetite and consumption. With the hopeless state of affairs of our nation today, our party wonders what President Tinubu, during his numerous trips abroad, says to his foreign counterparts in nations where leaders prioritize the welfare of their people." Let me start with you, Jackson. What is your take on this story?
Like I mentioned while discussing the other topic, I'm a member of International Security Association Switzerland. And we had conference. I was supposed to travel, but I can't meet up for financial reasons. Because I can't travel for an international conference while my family will not be able to feed, while my family will live in darkness, while my children will resume school, I won't be able to pay. So I just put all together. I decided not to go. And these people were asking me, what is happening in Nigeria to our oil, all this and that. I said, well, I don't know. But the only thing is that there is what they call aristocratic system of government. Government by the worst citizen. That's exactly what we are passing through now. And that is the reason why people like us can no longer be proud to be member of APC. You understand? When you look at what is going on, for Obasanjo's 8 years, how many times did he increase fuel from how much to how much? Then Jonathan, then by Yaradua, Jonathan, then Buhari. Buhari was paying subsidy. We see buy fuel, 185 naira. And we know clearly that we are still paying subsidy. Because I was so surprised. Umaru Ajiya is my man. That's the chief financial officer of NNPC. It's like a boss to me. It's like a father to me too. I saw him on radio and I sympathized with him. When he was saying NNPC is owing $6.something billion now. And I asked, on what? On petrol importation. Is it that they import this petrol to the country and started sharing it free to the people? You imported this fuel to the country, you distributed it to petroleum product and marketer, what do they call them? And they pay before they even... So why is the issue of owing coming from? That means something is happening. And people like us have called several times, through writing, through interaction, through telephone, to the presidency, that Mele Kwari should be removed from office. Umaru Ajiya should be removed from office. These people have served NNPC either meritoriously or whichever way. But to me, I don't think they have anything to offer again. They should leave the stage. But by the time somebody is doing something wrong, somebody is doing something offensive to the people, and the king of that community is saying is the best to remain there, that means to say it's like that person is protecting his interest. We all know, it's a known fact, that Wale Tinubu runs Ohando. It's Tinubu's cousins. Ohando has taken over Ajib. Now, it is in the news too that Ohando is going to take over all the petrol stations belonging to NNPC globally. You understand? Then what do you expect? And now again, why is it that when Dangote said in the next few days, I will begin to roll out PMS to the market, and these people worriedly, only one night, increase the fuel. And you know that immediately fuel is increased, every other commodity price will be increased. Most of the things are no longer affordable. How many Nigerians today that can afford to eat yam? How many Nigerians today? A lot of people, they just cook beans, cook rice with stew, no protein. They can't afford it. You understand? Transportation. My children are going from home to school. I know what I paid before. I know what I started paying now since on Monday. Everything is becoming unaffordable. When you called me for this program yesterday, I said, are you going to subsidize my fuel?
You know, you asked me if I'll provide fuel for you.
Yes. So what I did now is to call boat to drop me here. So when I'm going, I join Keke because I can't afford to roll out any of my car. I can't afford the fuel. I saw some of my neighbors. I said, why you not drive? They said, no, they can't afford to. And those are the people who can say they are a bit comfortable. What of those people today, in this country today, the only product the poor people enjoy is from NNPC is kerosene. Is kerosene affordable again? If you are living as a tenant in a rented apartment, will you go and be cooking with firewood? No. Charcoal is not even affordable too. So to me, I'm not sure if anything will be done by the present administration. No way. They will not be able to control it. I'm telling you, when Dangote fuel begin to come, if Dangote come with a very low price, they will frustrate Dangote refinery. I know that. These are sadists. These are people that never meant well for anybody in this country. Because that is the only thing Nigerians are enjoying. Now, there is no electricity. The little place that they will supply electricity, you cannot pay the bill because of the increase. Now, people are in my entire environment. 3 days ago, we had light till 7 o'clock in the night. They see the light. Before, after 2 minutes, you begin to hear power generator. Till they brought the light around 12 in the night. Nobody on generator, including me. I couldn't on my generator. I told my children not to on generator again. It's me now that I go on generator. 15 minutes, 5 minutes to 7 to monitor a program on TV. After that one, another program. Immediately that program end by 9, I switch up my generator. I carry the key to my generator room. It's in my pocket here. That is the situation. So it's getting bad. From next week, go and check the price of tomato again. Go and check the price of protein, meat, fish, and others again. Go and check the price of tomato again. Price of beans, rice again. This thing is going to be spread on all other commodities because they must be transported to this place. Industries are closing down because they could not afford diesel. So the little ones that are running with fuel generator, they are closing down too. Baby saloon are closing down. Then by the time this thing begin to happen, as a security expert, I know that we are writing application to more criminality. If we help ourselves, God will help us.
All right. Dr. Nelson, when Lekojo was speaking, you were groaning. You're very sad.
I have been looking at the wordings of the PDP statements, and I doubt if I have better words.
Okay.
They call the government insensitive, completely, totally insensitive. The business of governance is to make life better for the citizens, to improve the lives of the people, to remove clogs in the wheels of progress. And it appears that we are deliberately moving backwards, consistently moving backwards. The logic of governance has failed. You know, and when you say it's an attack on Nigerians, yes, in every sense of the word. How can a government, what is the justification for allowing this? This government came into power when fuel was selling at about, is it 2 something or 3 something? And then suddenly we are now at, I bought yesterday for 1,300. 1 liter of fuel.
I bought them before yesterday for 1,300 as
Good.
well.
Now, I wonder, assuming we don't have a drop of oil in this country, what will happen if we are importing fuel? If we are importing oil, we don't have a drop, we are not selling them because there are countries that do not have oil.
Yes.
And in most of those countries, they are buying at a better rate than us. We have fuel, we have oil, we have crude. What is it? What is it? Is it when there was this 10 days protest? You could see that there was a lot of tension in the land. The police was entered into overdrive to mobilize, anticipating violence and so that. But if you look at the participation, I can tell you that maybe it doesn't have up to 5% of Nigerians on the streets. Imagine what will happen if Nigerians get so upset, so angry, so dissatisfied with the system that you have 20, 30, 40%. And you know, the thing we should learn about Nigerians is that we are slow to act.
Yes.
But when it starts, then there will be no stopping. It will be chaos. It will be disaster. Is this government waiting until Nigerians get to that level when they say, damn it, let everything scatter, before they will know they have a responsibility to this country? The government should realize that their responsibility is to the citizens of this country. They have a responsibility to make lives better. What is all this about? Whose interest is this government serving? Those are the questions I keep asking myself. The anguish, the poverty, the frustration. I wonder if Mr. President is still a Nigerian. Whether whether he has a way of actually gauging what people are passing through. What is the justification for this? When will it stop? When will we start getting more reasonable and thinking about the masses? Those are the questions at the back of my mind. At what point do we begin to do what is right? It's not enough for somebody to come out tomorrow and make one funny statement that is as if it is speaking to another country, another set of citizens outside. Whatever policies the government think that they are implementing should have direct bearing. The way you gauge it is how it impacts the life of the people. Otherwise, every other thing is fancy. And I really don't know where we are going.
Well, I was having a conversation with someone, and the person asked the question, which I'm going to ask you, Dr. Nelson. What exactly was President Bola Tinubu's manifesto, other than Emilokon? Can you remember? Because what we heard and what was being chanted was Emilokon, Emilokon, it's my turn. Now, apart from Emilokon, can you recall what exactly is Renewed Hope agenda? Can you recall the agendas on the Renewed Hope?
The key points of the Renewed Hope agenda. I can't even recall. I wasn't interested in whatever he was saying then.
Okay.
I wasn't interested.
All right, let me ask.
I was paying attention to those I mean. That's why we are here.
Let me ask Lekojo, because Lekojo, then you were a PDP chieftain.
No, so, then APC chieftain.
APC chieftain.
A Baptist. A Baptist.
And a Baptist. So,
one of those people that believe strongly in Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So you're among those that brought us here.
Yeah, people like us, they should arrange people like us on the main road and flog us.
That is...
Honestly. We deserve to be flogged. Because I was too loud in the media. I was too loud. But now I'm regretting it, and I'm praying to God for forgiveness. And God will forgive me.
Okay, now the question I want to ask is, because you were a core Baptist and an APC chieftain at that point, at that time. Apart from maybe Loko, what was President Bola Tinubu's manifesto that time? What exactly did he promise Nigerians?
He promised Nigerians, after Emilokon, that means it is my turn. He promised Nigeria that cassava, gari, ewa, beans will be eaten. One promise. Then later he said he was going to start from where Buhari stopped.
What does that mean exactly?
Good. That means Buhari scattered the roof of the house, and Bola Tinubu started from there to demolish the entire building. That is exactly. And that's exactly what he's doing now. Honestly. Buhari removed the roof of the building. But Bola Tinubu said he was going to start from there. And immediately he came, he demolished the building from the foundation everywhere scattered. And that is exactly what we are. During Buhari, the highest time I fled Abuja was 45,000 naira. Now it's 170,000. Not business class or economy. The poor people side. 170. I bought a ticket, return ticket, 480,000 about 3 weeks ago because of that protest or so. I stopped it. So I want to go now. They are telling me that I'm going to pay 100,000 naira. So I now say, okay, whatever I'm going to do there, I will make call. Before I buy airtime 10,000, I will do it. You understand? If it is possible for me to sell the return ticket now, I will go and sell it. Yes. The hotel I was using in Abuja was 50,000 naira a night. They tell me that now it's 90,000 naira a night. So where you can get a hotel of 50,000 naira a night now, they will tell you, before you pay. we will off light 6 a.m. Then on it by 8 in the night, or by 12 again. So if you can stay, but when you move around Abuja, you may eventually come back to say, okay, I can bear it. That is it. So Tinubu said it was his turn to do whatever he liked to us. And he started from where Buhari stopped. Buhari de-roofed the building. Tinubu has scattered the building.
Now, in the face of everything that is going on, the concern will be the survival of the masses.
How are the masses going to survive in this? The babies are no longer operate.
And interestingly, driving to work this morning, the road was so free. You know, because the time I usually drive to
maybe
work,
it will make our road live longer now.
The road was so free.
Yeah.
And I was like, initially I was like, what's going on? Then it dawned on me, cost of fuel. And interestingly, getting to the office, I now saw that my car, the reserve lights, just blinked. And as it blinked, my heart sank. And in my head, I'm like, 2 days ago, I spent 30,000 naira buying 20 liters of fuel for my generator. Now that fuel has gone half. I am already having high blood pressure, panic attack, just thinking about refueling my gen. And now my car is showing me. Now when you look at it, the question would be, do the maths. You have to generate power. The average Nigerian generates power for himself, generates power for his business, generates power for his house, for anything he or she wants to do.
If you must use water,
you must generate power. You provide your water for yourself. Electricity tariff.
Yes.
The 250% increment in the tariff. Now we don't even want to look into that, because when you look at what the Constitution has provided for the power sector to increase tariff, there has to be a town hall meeting. That was never held. But we don't want to look into that as well. The constitutional infractions going up and down by these institutions. But what I'm looking at is when it trickles down to the everyday Nigerians, it means that the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Let's look at it critically, because to fuel my tank in my car is above the minimum wage, and it will not carry me for half the month. It will not even carry me because the quality of fuel evaporates. It will not even carry you for 1 week. So what is the way forward? I think at this point, what is the way forward? Because the truth remains that Nigerians develop themselves.
Now, for me, I think that the government is toying with a time bomb.
Okay.
Honestly.
They are toying with a time bomb. It has been proven in the laboratory, that if you put a rat, this house rat, in a caged room and start chasing the rat, it will start running around. It will start running. It's running away from you. But there's a way you chase the rat up to, even a rat. It gets to where it can no longer run again. It will turn and jump back at you.
Yes.
Go try it now, you will see it. That is a rat. Now, human beings have a lot more capacity to fight. And there's a way you push people, frustrate people, you get to a level where they will find ways of fighting you back. It is not just to think that fight is only when people come out on the street and begin to fight and destroy. It means that you're not thinking creatively. The first thing is that they can also find ways of undermining the system in several ways. Criminality will rise, for instance. And when people are afraid of, already there's a high level of insecurity in the country as we speak. People cannot go to farms. Now, if you get to a level where people cannot even go out of their houses, they cannot pay transport to go do their businesses, criminality rises. At that level, what are you governing? There will be total chaos, total collapse. Now, nobody should get up and tell me that I'm being a doomsday advocate, because that is a logical consequence. We are seeing it on the streets. It's getting worse and worse. So, you cannot even begin to predict what the possible outcomes can be. The level of frustration is palpable. It's too much. This government, the same courage that Mr. President used in getting on the podium on the 29th of May last year, without consulting Nigerians, without thinking of alternatives, and just pulled out the fuel subsidy, which we are aware has been brought back through the back door. Let him rise in the same courage and take decisions for the good of this country. At his age and experience, he should be thinking in terms of legacy. Should be thinking about how Nigerians will remember. Yes. A day will come too, when like Buhari, he will become an ex-president. Even if some magic happens and he stays 8 years, that day will still come. Yes. What will Nigerians remember him for? What will Nigerians feel when they see his children, or hear Tinubu, or see his grandchildren? What will be the attitude of Nigerians towards them? That should be the way you should be thinking at this point in time.
You're talking about children, Dr. Nelson, you are an educator. Now that brings me, because in all this crisis going on, nobody is looking at how it's going to affect the education of the Nigerian child and how it's even going to affect the educational sector. The schools also run on par. You agree with me?
Yes.
So as it stands now, things are so hard that the number of out-of-school children currently is on the high. And with this increment, schools will naturally increase their fees because they have to. They are not a charity organization. Yes. They have to stay in business, and they will also have to increase the cost of transportation, the school bus system, picking children off, and taking them to school and bringing them back home. These things will naturally increase. Parents at some point will be unable to sustain training their children. Now, yes. At the end of the day, what happens? What ordinarily should be the right of every Nigerian child, the right to education, the right to a secure future, now becomes a luxury. Are we coming? Because recently I heard in the news that I think it's that University of Ibadan also, one of these universities in the southwest, their school fees has been increased. A federal university has been increased to almost 500,000 for a federal university. Now, is it not concerning? 500,000. How much are the parents earning? How much are they surviving on? Are we coming to a point where what should be a right to the Nigerian child now becomes a luxury?
Yes, we are coming to that point. This is part of what ASU has been fighting over the years. In fact, Nigerians did not understand ASU. For a long time, ASU stood this ground to fight for the system, to fight for infrastructure, to fight for government investment in education. And each time that fight leads to a level where there is industrial harmony and ASU goes on strike, it is taken out on ASU members. And at that point, if you check out the records of our conflict, our fight, even ASU members' welfare was always down the ladder. It was always about the infrastructure, about the system and all that. Until that began to affect ASU, when even members began to say, no, you should begin to prioritize the welfare and interest of your members, because the people we are fighting for do not seem to care. Because we are aware that one of the things that enables dictatorship, enables the collapse of democracy, is an uneducated citizenry. When you have citizens that do not know their right from their left, cannot understand when they are being fleeced, when government is ruling in the interest of a small cabal and is not responsible to the interest of the masses, then you are entering dictatorship. It's easier to recycle and maintain dictatorship. If you have an informed populace, a well-educated populace, it is more difficult to manipulate them. It is more difficult to lie to them. People are aware, they can make informed choices, and they can demand accountability at different levels. ASU understood this and was fighting for that. Now, outside those who are not able to get to school because their parents cannot afford it, among those who are in school, there is also a serious problem. Now, in our own time in school, you don't hear about lecture-free days. Students are in school Monday to Friday. If there are no classes, they are reading. They're always around. If you fix emergency classes, they are there. Now, students are now designing special days, 1 or 2 days in the week, that they say is their own lecture-free day. That lecturers, if you put your lecture days on those days, you will have less than 30% attendance. Students who are not available to attend. And because they are trying also to save their transportation, save their moving around and coming to school. Now you find that you're teaching courses in the university and students cannot afford basic books to read. They want to rely on the lecturer to do all the research, come to class, teach them, dictate notes. And when you cannot dictate those notes, they are looking at you like this. Go and encourage them, go and read X, Y, Z, come back the next class. What have you read? They don't. So what quality of education of students are we going to be producing going forward? And if there are elements of sustainability in development that will carry one generation to the next, one of the core areas is education. That is the medium of transmitting knowledge, transmitting know-how, transmitting everything that we have achieved in one generation to the next. And that is another medium that you use in creating transgenerational escape from poverty. If people are not educated, a whole lot is going wrong in the system. So if it's happening in the educational sector, what about the other sectors? A lot of sectors are practically collapsed in the country. That's why we are depending, almost everything is imported. And look at the exchange value of the naira to the dollar. We are becoming a country under siege. And it is unpalatable.
Well, now, talking about other sectors, very quickly, Jackson, before we round up for the show, talking about other sectors. Now, we are looking at dollar volatility, right, in the market. And now we are now dealing with the high cost of fuel. Now, when you marry this together, what does it portend for small, medium enterprises?
It's total collapse.
Now, at the end of the day, what happens to IGR?
IGR.
Because if this SMEs are collapsing,
where do you getting the IGR? Where is it coming from? It's from production. Small scale and big these industries, but when they are no longer operating, where is the IGR coming from?
Multinational companies are closing
yes,
down.
And that is the reason why tax will now come. Though a Kara woman on the main road, they will tax her. They will enter barbing saloon to tax the poor barbing saloon attendant. You understand? So at the end of the day, when a barber will buy fuel, I run a fish farm. Before, I will buy fuel of 3,000 naira for a week. But now, I'm buying fuel of 37,000 naira for a week.
How much will be a fish now?
A time is coming, fish will no longer be affordable. So when people do not buy your fish, then you stop producing. You understand? A bag of feed, local feed before, 4,000 naira, now is 17,000 naira. Foreign feed that was 10,000 naira before, now 37, 40, 50. You understand? So when you, after fueling, buy feed, pay workers, at the end of the day, when you are selling your fish, you now discover that you have invested over 5 million, you sold fish of 4 million. So you do not even break even. That means you did not even realize your capital, not to talk of profit. A time is coming, some companies will no longer pay because they want to justify the input of their workers. They now discover that when you are giving your worker 100,000 naira, you now discover that 100,000 naira can only value like 10,000 naira before. So what happens?
Purchasing power.
That is it. So just like doctor has said, and I suggested before on another platform, let Tinubu first of all suspend subsidy, if subsidy is truly there.
But then, from the information, they are still paying.
Suspended.
But
whatever he needs to do.
Let me to say return the subsidy.
Her subsidy was subsidy. Anyway, that's another
You understand?
conversation.
So that maybe that time, what is the problem between them and Dangote? They were expecting Dangote, that if Dangote begin to produce, the importation from Malta and some other African, other countries, then maybe Dangote will not allow those ones to meet up the market here. And that was the reason why they wanted to frustrate Dangote to the extent Dangote say, okay, come and buy the refinery.
But I thought that even NNPC has investment in Dangote. And I know there are a lot of the political class too. Many of them also have investment
They told us 20% investment. But when Dangote was angry, Dangote said it's a lie. They paid for only 7%.
Oh.
Openly. And he said some of them owns the refinery in Malta. So instead of to give him crude, now they started giving him crude in Naira. And before he rolled out his own, they jack up the price.
All right. All right, interesting.